G'day wildlife enthusiasts! G'day everyone! Welcome to another thrilling episode where we combine the wonders of nature with the beauty of language. Ready to take you on another wild adventure. Today, we're going to explore not just the incredible wildlife of Australia, but also dive deep into the fascinating world of English language and literature. Today, we're not just trekking through the outback, we're diving into the wonderful world of English. Imagine the outback as a vast, open book, each page filled with new words and exciting phrases waiting to be discovered. Buckle up as we learn new words and phrases with a story as exciting as a crocodile encounter. Just like spotting a croc in the wild, finding the right word can be thrilling and exhilarating. Our tale takes place in the heart of Australia, where the sunbeams dance on golden sand, and the eucalyptus leaves whisper secrets in the wind. Picture yourself walking through this enchanting landscape, every step a new word, every sight a new phrase. It's a place teeming with life, where every creature has a story to tell. From the curious kangaroo to the wise old koala, each animal has its own unique way of communicating, just like words in a language. So, grab your binoculars and your sense of adventure. Let's learn some English. With every new word we discover, we'll be adding to our own personal dictionary, making our language skills as rich and diverse as the outback itself. Are you ready? Let's go. Together, we'll embark on this educational journey, exploring the wonders of language and the beauty of nature. So, let's set off on this adventure and see what amazing discoveries await us. Meet Kevin, a young koala with an unquenchable thirst for adventure, much like myself. Kevin wasn't your average sleepy koala. Oh no, this little fella had a knack for finding himself in the stickiest of situations. One scorching summer afternoon, as the kookaburras sang their afternoon chorus, Kevin ambled down a eucalyptus tree. He was on a mission to find the tastiest, juiciest leaves.
Little did he know his quest for the perfect leaf would lead him straight into a predicament he'd never forget. Kevin's tiny claws scratched against the bark as he descended the eucalyptus tree. The rough texture of the bark provided a good grip, but Kevin had to be careful. One wrong move and he could find himself in a bit of trouble. He sniffed the air, his nose twitching at the pungent aroma of his favorite treat. The scent was strong and inviting, leading him to believe that a delicious meal was just within reach. Kevin's excitement grew as he followed the scent trail, but as he reached for a particularly plump leaf, disaster struck. The leaf was just out of reach, and Kevin had to stretch his little body to its limit. He was so focused on the leaf that he didn't notice the danger lurking nearby. His little paw slipped and he tumbled head over heels into a sticky gum tree sap. The sap was thick and gooey, clinging to his fur and making it difficult for him to move. Kevin was in a real mess now.
Oh dear, what a predicament Kevin found himself in. The sap was everywhere, and it seemed like there was no way out.
Kevin cried out, his voice muffled by the thick, gooey sap. He tried to call for help, but the sap made it hard for him to be heard. His fur was matted and sticky, and he felt completely overwhelmed. He wiggled and wriggled, but the more he moved, the more stuck he became. The sap seemed to have a mind of its own, pulling him deeper into its sticky embrace. Kevin's struggles only made things worse. Poor Kevin. What a sticky situation to be in. He felt helpless and frustrated, unsure of how to free himself from the sap's grip. His mind raced as he tried to think of a solution. Let's learn some words that describe Kevin's predicament. Understanding these words might help us better understand what Kevin is going through. Sticky means covered in a substance that makes things cling together. Just like the sap that has Kevin trapped, sticky substances can make it hard to move or separate things. Gooey means soft and sticky. It's a texture that can be fun to play with, but can also cause problems if it gets on your fur or clothes. And predicament is a big word for a tricky situation. It's when you find yourself in a difficult or unpleasant situation, just like Kevin is right now. Let's hope he finds a way out soon. Now, any good Aussie knows that eucalyptus sap is notoriously difficult to remove. Luckily, a wise old Bushman named Bruce was passing by. Bruce was a man of few words, but his knowledge of the outback was as vast as the desert itself. He had seen it all and knew just what to do. Pickle is another way of saying mess or difficult situation. Bruce is a true blue Aussie, and he uses some classic Aussie slang. S3, media, cartoon character Bruce the Bushman with a long white beard and a hat. Cartoon character speaking Aussie slang. Struth, sonny, looks like you've gotten yourself into a right pickle.
See this here, young fella? This is no ordinary sap, it's the stickiest stuff you'll ever come across in the forest.
Bruce knew just the trick to free Kevin from his sticky trap. He had encountered this kind of sap before, and had learned a few tricks along the way.
This'll do the trick. A little bit of oil can work wonders on sticky sap.
Carefully, he dabbed some oil onto the sap that held Kevin captive. The oil started to work its magic, loosening the grip of the sap on Kevin's fur. Slowly but surely, the sticky goo began to dissolve. The once unyielding sap was now turning into a manageable mess.
Thanks, Bruce. You're a lifesaver. I thought I'd be stuck there forever.
Kevin, relieved and grateful, hopped out of the sticky mess, shaking the remaining oil off his fur. Exhausted from his ordeal, Kevin decided to take a nap at the foot of the eucalyptus tree. As he drifted off to sleep, he dreamt of delicious eucalyptus leaves and daring adventures. In his dreams, he was a brave explorer, navigating through forests and discovering hidden treasures. Dissolve means to break down or disappear. It's a process that can happen slowly or quickly, depending on the substance and the conditions. It's like when sugar dissolves in water. The sugar seems to vanish, but it's still there, just in a different form. An ordeal is another word for a difficult or unpleasant experience. It's something that tests your patience and strength. Kevin sure had an ordeal with that sap. But thanks to Bruce's quick thinking and clever solution, he was free to enjoy his eucalyptus dreams once more. The two friends shared a laugh under the eucalyptus tree, grateful for each other's company and the lessons learned from their sticky adventure. They knew that no matter what challenges came their way, they could always count on each other for help and support. As the sun set behind the eucalyptus tree, casting a warm glow over the forest, Kevin and Bruce felt a deep sense of peace and contentment. They knew that their friendship was as strong as the mighty eucalyptus tree itself. With the promise of new adventures on the horizon, Kevin and Bruce walked away from the tree, ready to face whatever came next. Their bond, forged in the heart of the forest, would guide them through any challenge. Meanwhile, news of Kevin's disappearance spread through the outback like wildfire. A group of kangaroos, led by the formidable Sheila, decided to form a search party.
All right, mates. We need to find Kevin. He's just a little tacker, and he's probably scared stiff.
Sheila, a true leader, rallied the other kangaroos. They were determined to find their friend. Tacker is an Australian term for a small child, but it can be used affectionately for any young animal. And scared stiff means extremely frightened. Section 7. A Glimmer of Hope. The kangaroos hopped from one eucalyptus tree to another, their powerful legs carrying them swiftly across the outback. They called out Kevin's name, their voices a chorus of concern in the afternoon sun.
Suddenly, young Joey, Sheila's son, spotted something shimmering beneath a eucalyptus tree. "Look!" he shouted, his tail twitching with excitement. "Is that Kevin?"
Shimmering means reflecting light and shining brightly. Joey's sharp eyes might have just led them to their lost friend. Section 8. The Great Escape. Indeed, it was Kevin. He was still sleeping soundly, the eucalyptus oil having done its job. The kangaroos surrounded him, relieved to find their friend safe and sound.
Sheila gently nudged Kevin awake. "Kevin, mate, you had us worried sick," she exclaimed.
Kevin, startled but unharmed, quickly explained his sticky situation and Bruce's timely rescue. The kangaroos, relieved and amused by Kevin's tale, erupted in laughter.
Worried sick means to be extremely worried. Thankfully, Kevin was safe and his ordeal had a happy ending. Section 9. Lessons learned. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the outback, Kevin and the kangaroos made their way back home. Kevin had learned a valuable lesson that day about the dangers of being too curious.
He realized that even though his adventurous spirit often landed him in trouble, he could always rely on the kindness of others and the strength of friendship to see him through.
Sometimes the most important lessons are learned through our own little misadventures. Just like Kevin, we can overcome challenges and come out stronger on the other side. Section 10. Keep on exploring. Well, there you have it, folks. Another ripper of a story and a few new English words and phrases to add to your vocabulary.
Remember, learning a language is like exploring the outback, full of surprises, challenges, and rewards. So keep practicing, keep exploring, and never be afraid to make a few mistakes along the way.
And remember, if you ever find yourself in a sticky situation, there's always someone out there willing to lend a helping hand. Until next time, keep it wild.